The Rock and Roll Coffee Show is brought to you by Writers and Rockers Coffee Company, keeping the music and memories alive with some damn good coffee. Be sure to pick up your Rock and Roll Coffee Show coffee only at writersandrockerscoffee.com. And also brought to you by Retroactive, located at Broadway at the Beach in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, keeping you retro with everything from 70s, 80s, and 90s. ShopRetroactive.com. I see you're a reader.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Avid reader. See, yeah. And I'm good at making brooms float in the air, too.
It's the Rock and Roll Coffee Show. Yeah, with Joe.
Welcome back to the Rock and Roll Coffee Show. I am Joe Sibilia. My next guest is lead singer of the band L.A. Guns, and that is Phil Lewis. L.A. Guns has a new record called Black Diamonds, which will be out April 14th. Phil joins me to discuss the writing and recording of Black Diamonds, his relationship status with Tracii Guns, and what went down during the Sonic Slam tour, upcoming touring, and more. Next on the Rock and Roll Coffee Show. Thanks for watching. So Phil, you've got Black Diamonds coming out April 14th, new LA Guns record. Fourth record since you've been back with LA Guns, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Do you still get excited on record release day?
I'll tell you, honestly, I'm a kid. I'm a big kid, and I always believe deep down that this record, this is the one. This is the one that's going to change everything. This is going to chart us. This is going to get us a Grammy nomination. This is going to do this. It's going to do that. And I've been the same. That's my whole life. I just get really excited about the prospect of putting out something new, and especially something that sounds as good as this. I am excited about it. I know that it's not going to sell millions of copies like the old days, the cocked and loaded days. But that really isn't the point. That's not why we're doing it. Absolutely not why we're doing it. And at the end of the day, it's just like, it's really good just to switch it on or in the car and play it and go, wow, we did good. We nailed it. And that never gets old.
Yeah. Now I listen to it so much that I don't know if there's a limit on how many times you can listen to those links that they sent me,
Yeah.
But I was listening to it again today and they're like muted out. I can't listen to them anymore. I was like, what in the world? They cut me off.
Yeah.
But I think it's a great album. Some of my favorite ones I think would probably be, well, the one I really liked was Like a Drug. Killer tune right there.
For me too. That for all of us. That's like an immediate song. That was one of the last songs that we did. There's actually a song that Ace brought in.
Yeah.
And I love it too. I agree. I can't wait till we start doing it live.
Are you going to do that one live?
Eventually.
Nice.
We're trying to figure out. It's really difficult to incorporate new songs when we're doing what we do, as in like a fair amount of people are there to see. That's it. Just to find a point, a nostalgia act. They want to hear Ballad of Jane. They want to hear Sex Action, Never Enough, and that's absolutely great. So they should, because we want to play it. But it's really difficult when you've got to try and introduce new songs, which are always a challenge, and figure out where to put them, and obviously don't put them all together, because there'll be a mass stampede for the bar or to the toilet.
Emptying out.
But what we've got so far is definitely You Betray. That the opening track of the record. It just sets up the vibe of the record so well. And yet we're going to do that. We're going to do Diamonds. I'm not sure that we should do it so soon, but they're very keen to do it. The video got released last week and it's blowing. It really is. The comments are just like hundreds of comments, thousands of likes and views, and You know, that's really the next best thing to try and gauge what we used to do. You know, if you're doing good, if that's the equivalent of sales, I guess.
Pretty much
But
nowadays.
so yeah, I mean, I'm not mad about doing diamonds so soon, but we're gonna see what it sounds like. And wrong about you. I think the boys are wrong about you.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a killer song. That's another one of my favorite ones off the record.
yeah, yeah. So those are the three that we're contemplating. We just got to try and figure out where we can put them.
Okay. Okay. Diamonds was another one of my favorites. And then I also liked Gonna Lose.
Yeah, well,
I,
I appreciate that, but I ain't doing that every night.
I was gonna say that chorus is super high. I mean, what in the
No way.
world?
Yeah, well, you know, I tell you what, we was in the studio. It'd been a long day in the studio. I've done 2 or 3 tracks prior to putting this one up, and I got through the verse real easy, you know, because it's a low range. It's easy going, and then that chorus kicked in, and it's high. I went to hit it. I was like, I missed it by a country mile, and I was like, oh shit, what are we gonna do? And we were like, ready to sort of rewrite it and bring it in a different key, or maybe not have it quite so high. And I was like, let me sleep on it. Let me just work on. Let me just concentrate on it. And I did that night. I just listened to it, and I figured out how I could do it, because, you know, like with the magic of digital recording, like, you've only got to do it once. And you know, I came in the studio the next day and we started with it, and I knocked it out the park. It was like, wow. It was because I was tired from the day before, and that's a song you've got to be really fresh to do. But I'm real proud of it. I'm real proud of some of those high notes, and it's real. It's not like auto-tuned or anything. It's actually me singing, and I'm incredibly proud of it.
Great.
But incredibly terrified at the prospect of having to do that live.
So you're gonna avoid that at all costs, aren't you?
I think so. You know, I'm just going to leave it. I don't want to ruin it. I sang it great once, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
I hear you. I hear you. But yeah, the whole record, man, great record. You know, it had it's kind of goes all over the place. It's got some
Okay.
70s Zeppelin feel. It's got the classic LA Guns feel with the little
Yeah.
punky vibe, you know? Great
Well,
record.
you know, me and Tracii, we're children of the '70s. You know, we grew up. Our parents listened to vinyl and record players and 8 tracks, and you know, like you know, Doobie Brothers, Parliament, you know, all that stuff, all that really killer stuff. AC/DC from the '70s. We were raised on that. So, and of course Zeppelin, and it shows, doesn't it? I mean, these are clearly our influences, but as you say, it's a very varied record. You know, you have a song like a heavy song. I mean, like You Betray, that could be Slayer. That could be one of these, like, you know, like death metal bands. And then you've got a song like Crying.
Yeah. Yeah.
The audacity of that the dichotomy of those two styles of songs, we can do it, and we enjoy doing it, and we get a kick doing it. And there are lots of bands that are one-dimensional and they're really good at it, like AC/DC, Motorhead, you know, Anthrax. You know, they do that one thing. They do it really fucking well. But that bore me to death. I'd be so bored.
Sure.
I like switching it up, changing it, and doing something poppy, and then something really dark.
Well, Well, yeah. I mean, I think you guys hit a home run on it. It's out April 14th. People can pre-order it now, though.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
and go to iTunes, not iTunes or whatever they call that, the music, the Apple Music. You can preview the whole record for nothing.
Oh, you can.
Pretty much. I mean, it not the whole track, but enough to get a gist of it.
Okay, great, great. Okay. Well, I definitely recommend it. So hopefully people will check that out. Now, let me ask you this. What nowadays, do you see the record sales, like how much you sold that day or first week, or do you pay attention to that stuff or no? Or is it downloads? What happens?
It doesn't matter. We're not going to see any back end.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't worry about it. I
Yeah.
think we should be happy that we get 200,000 likes or 200,000 views. I guess that is probably more rewarding than the 2 or 3 cents we're going to get from Spotify if 100,000 people upload it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
There's
Okay.
no money.
Fair enough. Yeah.
No money. We're not doing it for that.
Sure.
The label covers our expenses for recording, and there might be a little bit left over, but there's a lot of travel involved, so not much. And it's just really a labor of love, and just never know. It's something might stick. Like a production company might pick one of the songs and put it in a TV show, and then boom, all of a sudden you've got like a Kate Bush situation or something like that. That's pretty much our best hope as far as goes.
Okay.
No, all our money's in live, but I mean, we do good from like old royalties when people bought music, and we still get residuals from that. And that's handy, that's good. I enjoy that, and but this new stuff, we'll never see residuals like we do like Ballad of Jane or Never Enough.
Yeah. Okay. Do you remember this thing? I found this the other day.
Fantastic.
VHS.
I loved it. That was pretty much the height of our fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let me ask you this. Talk to me about the writing process, because I was thinking about this, and you guys, like I said, have 4 albums out in the last, I want to say, about 6 years.
Yeah.
So I was kind of trying to do some math here, and I was like, all right, well, so if you release an album, you tour for it for a month or 2, or however long you tour these days, and then random shows throughout the year.
Yeah.
And then you've got after the record's done, you've got about 4 or 5 months there before it's going to get released. So I'm thinking, well, they have to be writing all the time.
Yeah.
To be able to put this many albums out in 6 years.
He's already writing for the next one.
Tracii.
Yeah.
He's the main writer.
Whenever I refer to him as him, we're like an old married couple. We're just like,
that guy.
No, he's writing already, and he doesn't stop. He sits there on his couch with a shiny green Gibson SG, and he just noodles all day. And he's like, oh, I like that. And he just makes these mental notes or just puts something down on his phone. And he puts it all together on GarageBand. If anybody's interested, technically, the easiest program, and we just build it from there. But yeah, there's a lot of writing involved. But he's playing all day. The guys are involved. It's a whole group effort as far as collaborating on the writing goes. There are songs that Johnny brought in, Johnny Martin, the bass player. And as I said, and Like a Drug, or like we call it, I Like Drugs. That's Ace's song. So it's very democratic. I have a writer, I collaborate with Mitch Davis on the writing, and he records my vocals. When all the tracks are done, I fly to New York to Mitch's studio, and then we just pretty much build it right there. But that's how we've done it for the last 4, and it works really well. With you know, as prolific as Tracii is, I really appreciate the help. And the other thing is having a writer, an external writer, or it's like it saves a lot of should we call it tension? Like, so if I wrote, you know, he gave me a piece of music and I wrote this lyric and I'm like, oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever written. And I bring it in and he goes, oh, I hate it. So we don't, you know, we don't have that. And you know, Mitch is a good buffer between us. And, you know, he knows my range. He knows what I can do, what I can't do. And he got that even if I win out of me, because he's that good of a producer. And it's just, he's him. Adam Hamilton is another behind the scenes member that plays drums on everything, but doesn't tour with us.
Right.
Because he's a studio cat now. He's a producer, and he's one of these guys who just stays in the studio. But Adam's been in the band in LA Guns numerous times, but not as a drummer, as a bass player
and a guitar player, right?
Yeah. So he's you know, an integral member. So we, you know, it's not just the guys on stage. It's like 6, 7, 8 of us all get together when we start cooking these stews, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
So when you get the songs, is the music all completed or yeah, okay.
Always all done.
And do you hear it? Do you hear as they're building it, or do you just hear it when it's done? They say, "Here you go, Phil."
No, I think he's pretty much even, you know, like the garage band stuff, even the early stuff before it's all done properly. He wants us to hear it as soon as possible so that we can all get our parts sorted or make any changes if necessary. You know, like maybe it needs a few more bars to incorporate a double verse, something like that. But yeah, for the most part, it's done very, very quickly. But yeah, mostly always music first. There's never been a time I've wrote this lyric, I need to put this to music. It's not like that.
Okay.
It's his band. Oh, it's his vibe. It's his whole creation, and I want him when he's playing. I mean, I write songs, but my songs like sound like the Cars. It's so chunk 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 chunk, and I don't want Tracii to play stuff like that. You know, he's better than that. I want him to play the stuff that gives him a kick.
Okay. Have you done any solo stuff?
Yeah, tons of stuff. Yeah, and then, you know, when we were estranged, I had my own version of the band, and I was playing and just doing fine, doing all right. But it was treading water, wasn't going anywhere. It was only after this reunion that we were like, shit, we've got some catching up to do, and been doing, and it's been great.
Well, I think you guys right now are the strongest you've been in a long time as far as a unit goes, with Ace and Johnny and everybody.
Johnny's incredible. I mean, honestly, technically, I joined Johnny's band because Tracii and Johnny were working prior to me agreeing to do the reunion. So I've always had tremendous respect for him as playing and just him as a person, and, you know, spending a lot of time together, which we have done on the road. He's a really cool cat. He's a great musician. Same for Ace. Ace is the youngest one in the band, but, you know, he's just got that punky enthusiasm. And we've got Sean Duncan on drums, who doesn't play on the album, but he really lays it on thick live. I mean, for me, he's the closest thing to John Bonham I've ever played with. I mean, it's got that Bonham, just when it sort of hits you in the chest. He has that. He's strong. He's a really strong drummer. And yeah, no, I love it. And you know, we got shows coming up. Oh, in a couple of weeks, we got the whiskey coming up. I think a day or so after the release of the record. And yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to it.
Awesome, awesome. And then the recording process on this, I believe it was a little different than Checkered Past, right? Because Checkered
Oh,
Past was when we were all at
it
home.
was it was really, you know, looking back on it, I got to say, it was like we did it, and I'm proud that we did it, and it actually turned out all right. It sounds good, but I never want to do that again. That isolation and being so far and disconnected from the band. It was like a zero vibe record for me. Uh, but we did it, and I'm proud of it. But starting this Black Diamonds post plague, being in a room together and just, you know, like just cooking and talking about something in music, it was just it was magic. It really was. And then we started like putting songs together, and it was like we couldn't wait to do. We were doing it. We were recording on our tour bus last
Right.
summer.
I remember
Yeah,
some posts. You guys post some
yeah,
stuff with that.
yeah. And it was just so much fun. You would, like, if we had a day off, you know, that's a lot of idle time on the road. You know,
Sure.
basically it's sitting around for 23 hours so that we can play our 60 minutes. So you know, to have something to do and something fun like that, and to see it develop before us, especially after the sterile record prior to that, it magic. Just
Yeah.
loved it,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
I'm
exciting.
really fond of it, and um, being around, you know, while they were tracking guitars and bass on the tour bus, and then, you know, like flying out to New York to Mitch's, you know, with these absolutely solid watertight tracks, and spending about a week or so turning them into the songs that you know.
Yeah. Yeah. How many did you record for the record?
As that's it.
Just those. Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a bonus track. We did a Shattered Glass acoustic because the Japanese, the Asian market tends to want something different, like a bonus, something extra. So yeah, no, we write to order.
Okay. Okay. And then touring. Now you guys were out with Tom Kiefer and Faster Pussycat, and that was a fairly big tour, right?
It
You
was
were out for a little bit.
Yeah, no, we God, for a bit. It was a good. I enjoyed it. Um, you know, I wasn't, you know, I don't pay too much attention to certain details. And when I saw the tour dates, I saw June and July, and I figured, oh well, yeah, some dates in June, some dates in July. I didn't realize it was June and July, and then there was half of August after that. So it was like, oh shit, I haven't toured like that since my 30s.
Oh
Like
man.
stuck out on a bus for 6, 7, 8 weeks.
Right.
Yeah. And oh my God, it was like, holy shit. That was a challenge. There was a lot of discipline involved in that. And especially, you know, singing wise, they're towards the end of it. I found myself having to do like 6 shows in a row, and you know, that's definitely a challenge for any singer. And I'm no spring chicken, but I pulled it off. I did okay, and it was great. And yeah, it was a magic tour. Treated us, Tom and his band treated us like we were family, and us and Faster, our family. We've all known each other since the 80s. So it was great. There was no weirdness. There was no egos. It was just, you know, it was a good draw. You know, we were playing like big rooms. We were playing like a we would do like a 2,500 seater club. we'd do like a 4,000 seater theater. You know, they were really and they were well attended too. And right at the end, we did a show in Tulsa. We did the One Arena show in Tulsa. It was us, Tom Kiefer, and Poison,
Oh,
because
okay.
they were doing the that stadium tour, and I don't know how they ended up getting on doing the show, but you know, obviously they headlined it, and it was fantastic, and it was a great way to end that summer run.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Now you guys had a couple obstacles along the way on that tour, as far as you know, Tracii was going through some stuff in his personal life there, and then your manager at the time split
Yeah,
in the middle of the tour, right?
I got a big mouth, don't I? I let the cat out of the bag. But yeah, um, it was a very, very difficult time for Tracii. Um, but we were, honestly, I think it was his salvation to be out on the road with his guys, and not sitting at home having to deal with that. But it still made for some challenging moments, to
Yeah.
say the least. And it, you know, I know him. I've known him a long time. I know him like a brother. And you know, I've known that he can pull shit. He can get pissed off or freaked out, and he can be pretty volatile, pretty unpredictable. And there are a couple of moments on that tour that I thought, well, that's it. You know, he's done. We're going to go home. He doesn't want to do this, which would have been a shame because it was going well. And as I said, I really feel that it was the best therapy for him to be out there and be. You know, I was like, I couldn't have been more supportive. I'm no psychiatrist. I'm no counselor, but I pretty am a little bit now after going through that. We all were. We all helped him.
Sure.
He was a tragic sight at times. And you know, it's not just a break. It's a breakup with a kid,
Mm-hmm.
and that changes the whole equation. Breaking up, yeah, I know it's a shame. Oh, I'm going to miss her, blah blah blah. But when you've got a kid involved, the complications and the intensity is very much amplified. But he got through it. We got through it. Our manager didn't. It was just all too much for him. It was just like he'd been with the band prior to the reunion, and I really liked him a lot, and he was an integral part of the band and a big part of the reason I agreed to do it. But him and Tracii had been working prior to the reunion, and it just come to the point where they couldn't deal with each other anymore. And you know, I begged him not to go, and for a long time he didn't. But in the end, he said no, he couldn't do it, and I understand why. And I just had to ask myself at that point, you know, do I want to do this? And you know, I got with this album being so good, and you know, like you know, there have never been issues with the gig. Once we get on stage, once we get playing, that is, you know, that's heaven for me. I'm just love it so much, and I put up with all the other. We all put up with all the other crap. As long as that's happening, and it is, instantly we get out there and we start cooking. It's like, fuck, this is what I was born to do, and all that other stuff, all that personal stuff, all that business stuff, all that bitching stuff, it just flies out the window. That first few bars, and you're away, and
Yeah.
we're lucky to, as musicians, we're lucky to have that as a release. And that was my whole point to Tracii. It was like, you can get on stage every night for 70, 80, 90 minutes, and those problems don't exist. Right there, the only thing that matters is what we're doing, and it's very therapeutic.
Mm-hmm. Well,
But yeah, no, a big mouth. I can't help but, you know, I got to be honest. You know, yeah, we did hit the skids, and you know, and being out on that road, being on the road that long, and those conditions, it was very, very challenging. But I got to say, we had no arguments. There was not a single fight on that between two guys. There was not so much as a raised voice. And it's close proximity. If you get on a bus and you're like, oh wow, fantastic, but it's really not. You've like being on a submarine, and my band, utter gentleman, and Tracii was God bless him. He got through it, and we moved on. It's
Awesome.
It's a good in the band.
Yeah, yeah. You feel it's brought you guys closer together, possibly?
Did I say that again?
Do you feel maybe it's brought you guys closer together now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that was even possible, we've always been close.
Sure.
And we've been super close since the reunion, because like that 15 years estrangement, it's like we never want to do that again. That didn't do well for us. It was a terrible thing for the fans, and we're scared of that.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
Yeah. No, you guys need to be together. You guys
I think so.
Yeah.
And understand each other's boundaries and wants. I mean, he's great. He's just, his one of his mantras is like, just keep the singer happy. Don't argue with that. And so no, he's good. He's a lot better now.
Good.
He's doing great now, actually.
Yeah, he appears to be. I mean, I don't talk to him, but he appears to be, from what I see.
He's got a new girlfriend, and she plays guitar, and they're having a great time yucking it up. And I'm really, really happy for him.
Good.
He deserves it. And I told him at the depths of his despair, I said, you'll be okay. This time in a year, you're going to be smiling, you're going to be laughing, and fanning yourself with lobster tails.
That's right.
And no, but sure enough, he is.
Yep. Good. Hey, tell me about the videos, because you recorded 3 videos for this album already. You Betray, Diamonds, and Shattered Glass. I mean, are you having fun making videos?
Yeah, Betray's just a lyric video.
Mm-hmm.
Animated lyric video. I don't really know too much about it, to be honest with you. Some of these things, they look like they found a guy on Fiverr to put.
You never know, possibly.
Right. The other 2, we were a bit more involved. Certainly was involved for the Diamonds. I had a bit of a vision for that. I wanted it to be gothic. Awesome. I wanted it to be sort of like vampire-ish and have that sort of cellar or castle drawing room vibe to it. And that's for Diamonds, and that turned out pretty good. And then for the Shattered Glass, I'm not sure why they picked that song, to be honest with you. It's not a bad song, but we've got so many better songs than that. So I'm not saying I don't like it, but
it's not one of your favorites.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
it really isn't. So we made a video for it, and that's pretty much a label creation. That was their idea, the rotating stage and the white background. And I pick my battles. I can't win them all. Like if I got the Diamonds video, I hope that at some point we can do Like a Drug, if nothing else, like a really good live video for it. But yeah, Diamonds turned out great. I think Betray is a good lyric video. The Shattered Glass, it's got a lot of hits, got a lot of views. If that means anything, does it mean it's any good or not? I don't know.
I think it's a pretty cool video. I mean, it's very colorful.
It just, for me personally, I think we got much better stuff. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, as I said, you got a sort of compromise that that was the label choice.
Yeah.
We didn't pick it.
Yeah. Now, Diamonds, I mean, what is that location where you filmed at? Because it's awesome.
Yeah, that's my castle in Pasadena.
I think you're lying to me right now.
Behind the library, it's all there. No, it looks like a beautiful old mansion and big old country house, but it's actually a sound stage in downtown LA, with various size rooms that they can accommodate either parties or video shoots or anything like that. The location had a really cool library. We didn't shoot in the library. We used it as a dressing room, but it was really cool. When we shot that video, it was one of the days there was torrential rain in LA. It was something like 4 inches in an hour, and everything was fine. So we couldn't go anywhere. It was damp and it was cold, but this fascinating library, and it was all this like Russian literature, like the old like Tolstoy and stuff like that, like early biographies of Stalin and Lenin, and it was like it was fascinating and nothing to do with the video whatsoever. But yeah, that was, so it was a soundstage, but it was very personal. It was like somebody had gone to a lot of trouble to personalize that to such detail.
Mm-hmm. Well, it came out great. I thought it came out great. Are you still having fun making videos? Do you like to do that? Not so much.
No, not really. I look so fucking old in them. If you've been making videos as long as I have, it's like I don't look like. I know I want to look like. Yeah, I mean, if needs be, we'll do it. It's not something that I particularly relish, but it's just part of the job, I guess.
It's not the sex action days.
Hell no.
I actually had Lori Tucker, who was a model in that video with you, Sex Action. I've had her on the show, and she was telling me about that video shoot. It was like at nighttime or something, right? You guys were going all over LA?
Oh, all over the place. Yeah. It was great. Commando days, because we didn't have any permits or anything like that. So we were like, hit and run, and shoot, and before the cops or gangbangers up or something. Yeah, it was a great time.
That's fun. How about touring? Are you planning a tour? I know you have some dates coming up, but are you planning on going out for a while again?
Yeah.
In the summer or something?
We've got a gaggle of dates around the West Coast coming up. And then in June, there's not a particularly long run. I think it's like maybe 2.5, 3 weeks, like solid, that we'll do. There'll be a breeze after what we did last summer. And, no doubt they'll add stuff, they generally do. But we've got new management now. We've got a new agent, and everything's kind of falling into place, and that takes a little while, especially with a new release. But I think the storm's over. I think the worst of it's over, and just looking forward to some fair sailing and enjoying people's reaction for this record.
Yeah, well, I think it's going to be a lot of positive reactions from what I've heard. So
thank you, Joe. I appreciate you and support on the project and taking the time out and actually listen to it so much they banned you.
I know, you're gonna have to talk to them about that.
Yeah.
Now I did pre-order it, so now I got to wait though until April 14th or whenever it gets sent to me.
Well, good. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Yes,
where
sir,
are you calling?
What's that?
Where are you calling from?
I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, with nothing planned as yet, but we get down there.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully you come out. I mean, Skid Row was just here. They played the House of Blues here.
Fantastic. Yeah. That's
so. Yeah. Hopefully, if you come near, I'll try and get out there.
Oh, well, you'll be very welcome, Joe. We'd appreciate it.
All right, Phil. Thank you very much, bud.
Thank you, buddy.
All right.
Pleasure.
Take care.
Bye-bye.